It's the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Now here's your hosts, Tom Hatfield and Joe Nienow.
Welcome to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
You were ready for it. Here we are, week number 12 of the NFL, and for fantasy people out there, this is the crunch time here. Last couple weeks of the regular season, the playoffs right around the corner for them.
Playoffs right around the corner, and the NFL is topsy-turvy in addition to the challenging picks taking place right now via fantasy. So
anything can happen. Any given Sunday has definitely been the case over the last couple of weeks. That's for sure.
Definitely.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll get right back at it. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
We'll be right back.
Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Polito's Pizza has been family owned and operated since 2007. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids, Rothschild, Oshkosh, La Crosse, Green Bay, and De Pere. Whether it's a pregame meal or a halftime snack, make it Polito's. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice.
He is counted to infinity twice. He once set a land speed record on a surfboard. Bruce Springsteen calls him the boss. He is the most fascinating man alive.
I don't always buy diamonds, but when I do, I prefer
Jim Creshaw Jewelers, located at 3808 Rib Mountain Drive, Wausau.
Stay sparkly, my friends.
Come on down to Post Road Pub. Your NFL, Major League Baseball, and NASCAR headquarters, plus a whole lot more. Darts, pool, shuffleboard, foosball, and a whole lot of fun. Follow Post Road Pub on Facebook. Post Road Pub, 1211 Post Road in Plover, 715-344-9800.
I'm the king.
I am the king.
I'm the king.
I am the king.
No, I'm the king. Hi, I'm Tom Hatfield. Join myself and Joe Nienow every Sunday for the Fantasy King Sports Hour.
Every week we'll take a look at the NFL and help you with your fantasy football action.
We'll have our own fantasy contest, trivia questions, and a whole lot of fun.
Don't forget our weekly high school football fantasy kings.
Plus, you'll never know who might run by.
Are you going to be this week's fantasy king?
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
we are down here at Post Road Pub, joining Mary and the crew here, and
the sun is in here. I can't really see.
It's a little bright.
Yes,
they're over there. They're over there.
Your wife is here too.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow, first time this year.
All right.
Nice.
Well, hey, a couple big games here this week. What did you see?
You know, last night, first game took a look at was the Patriots-Panthers. You know, this is obvious here where the passing game was there for Cam. Yardage-wise, it was there for Brady, but it didn't result in any points, and there was a little bit of controversy at the end of the game with the interference call against Gronk that got overturned. Those penalties always drive people crazy when a penalty gets, especially a pass interference. I mean, how do you overturn a pass interference call?
The big thing there was, I think, the drive before that. Greg Olsen, the tight end for Carolina, has the same almost situation, except probably even less, and he gets the call. So, you know, and for this one to end up like this, still, you fumble the ball inside the 20 in the first half. You know, you have to score in those situations. You can't just come down to the one play. You should have won the game beforehand.
I'll tell you what, I think Belichick's run on being able to get anybody to play for him and to their max in their positions. But we'll run down the numbers here real quick. Tom Brady, 29 of 40, 296 yards, 91.3 completion percentage. You know, those are good numbers. Any other for fantasy, they're great. Not a lot of touchdowns, only 2 touchdowns. LeGarrette Blount, the max on their running, 10 for 49 yards, no touchdowns. Stephen Ridley, 13 of 48.
You know, and he fumbled. He was the guy who fumbled the ball early.
Right.
They took him out a little bit. That might have hurted them overall offensively because they weren't sure if he was going to hang on to the ball.
Exactly. You know, and that's a big thing. You put the ball on a rock on the ball early in a game or late, any time in the game. You know, you have to be reliable in the NFL.
And these days, with the offenses, the way they score, you can't give up turnovers.
No, absolutely not. So that was it for their rushing. Brady did hook up with a lot of receivers. Looks like about 7. Best one, Julian Edelman's down there. He was 3 catches, 27 yards. Best guy was Shane Vereen, 8 receptions, 65 yards.
Out of the backfield there.
Out of the backfield, exactly. Kembrell Tompkins, 2 for 60 yards, couple big ones. Gronkowski, 5 of 59. Those are numbers you're not used to seeing him put up. Danny Amendola, a guy you would think would put up bigger numbers, more poignant numbers. He's only 6 receptions, 45 yards. And Gronk did have that 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Cam Newton, 19 of 28. Not a lot of passes in this game for them, but he throws for 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. Cam was their best rusher, too. 7 rushes for 62 yards, 24-yard longest. Mike Tolbert, 6 rushes for 17 yards, not much there. But then Stevie Smith, he made some great catches there early in the game.
Right.
I think got New England off their game because him and Khalib Talib got into that, and Belichick obviously put him on the sideline right away. He was in the play right after it, but that changes the mentality of a game, and that's why I think Belichick said, "Hey, we don't put that crap on the field," but it already sets the tone in the game.
Sure.
And the same thing's going on in Detroit. I mean, you listen to this Schwartz. I said it before when the first time it happened with him and Harbaugh, when they gave him that handshake, and he ran after him after the fact. Their players are mirroring him, and Belichick is trying to get his players to mirror him, and then it's like shooting a game of pool. You screw up once, you're in the game. You can look at it afterwards, but you've already changed the momentum, the feel of the game.
Momentum. I mean, that Detroit game, that's just one thing there. They were dominant. I put right on Facebook, I said, Megatron's unstoppable.
Yes.
Well, guess what? They stopped him in the second half. He barely touched the ball. I don't know if he had a catch even. So
Yeah, they shut him down. Like I said, Cam Newton, Tolbert. Brandon LaFell, he had 7 receptions, 59 yards. Greg Olsen, 5 for 52. Ted Ginn Jr., 1 for 25. And D'Angelo Williams, 2 for 11. Spread the ball out a little bit, but Cam Newton's got something rolling, and this is his 3rd year now. He's starting to figure out the game and he's got, I'll tell you what, he's got a great delivery on his ball.
He's got a strong arm. He's
Yeah,
had one heck of a run. There was one run where he scrambled around. And if you heard the interview with him, he realizes how much of a screw-up he was in the first couple of years, and he, I think, has his head on straight.
Well, yeah, and you know what? It takes you 2 years in your NFL to realize, hey, you're not like you were in NCAA football. Yeah, you were God in NCAA football. But when you get to the NFL, boy, I guess the curve in college football would be like this for players. But when it's in the NFL, it's up here, and there's very little undulation. And it took 2 years to get his butt pounded for him to realize that and knock him down to earth.
So. And then the other game, of course, you're going to talk about.
Hey, I want Packer Nation.
You did call it, too.
I want Packer Nation to settle down a little bit because Tolzien has the tools.
He threw some decent balls.
He's thrown some great balls. But if you remember Eli Manning when he first came into the league, everyone was like, wow, is he ever going to be like his brother? First 3 years, it was like, couldn't throw the ball. He was off on timing. That timing is huge in the NFL. I've said it before here. Release points, high school, college, and NFL are separated by 3, 4, and 5 yards.
Sure.
And Tolzien hasn't had enough snaps at full speed in game times for him to develop that timing yet. But he's getting it.
But will he ever, though? Because, by the time he gets in there, A-Rod's going to be back, and then Tolzien sits the bench, and,
but you know what? At least
a year down the road, maybe he gets back in the game.
That brings up another point. You gotta, if you've got young guys behind, you gotta get them in there when your teams are up big in games. Same thing going on in Denver.
Yes.
When they're up by 25 points, get Peyton.
Osweiler should be in there taking snaps, and that is, you do say that a lot of those guys just want to finish.
Now, if you take away this, and we're going to go through some stats here. Scott Tolzien, you take away those 3 picks that he had, he was 24 of 34, 339 yards, The thing that knocks his QBR down to 65.7 is the 3 picks.
Sure.
Those are actually stellar numbers. 70% completion percentage. He got no help, though. I mean, he got no help from anybody. Eddie Lacy, 14 of 27. They abandoned the run game right there. Anytime you got a runner like that, he's got to get the rock 20, 25 times a game, especially when you got a quarterback like
the only
Tolzien
problem is
going.
with that, and I think the Packers saw a lot with like the Vikings see all the time.
Right.
You know, they're going to put 8, 9 in the box, really shut down the run game, make Tolzien burn them. He made some good passes at points and stuff, and that's what happened with Lacy.
And it just didn't happen. The interceptions happened at points in the game where they shouldn't have happened, and you know it could have went the other way where those could have been 3 touchdowns. You know, if Jordy breaks one there that he dropped in over on the side there. Rushing wise, Eddie Lacy 14 carries, 27 yards, 1.9 yard average. John Kuhn 1 carry for 12 yards, and Tolzien 2 for 11 yards. Going in the receiving corps, Jordy Nelson put up some great yards for fantasy. No touchdowns, however, but he was 817 yards long, was 29 yards. Jarrett Boykin, this guy's really stepping up to be a player for the Packers and for fantasy. 6 receptions, 91 yards, 15.2 average, 52-yard long. James Jones starting to get back into the rhythm. 2 receptions, 55 yards. Brandon Bostic, 26 yards. Eddie Lacy, 2 for 21 out of the backfield. And Corliss, who I thought would really step up, has not at all without Finley in there.
The tight end position really has not been productive, and usually you see that out of a young quarterback going after their tight end.
And I'll tell you something. Finley is done, I think. I really do. The same injury that who was our DB Packers a couple of years ago that decided to hang up with that neck injury.
No, it's scary. I'm not a Packer fan.
I know that, but you know more about the Packers now than you do the Vikings, because I would imagine it goes click. Another Viking. Another as the Viking turns. Hey, they did find bones in Minnesota of actual Viking skull. Did you see that?
All right, I did not.
On the flip side, Eli Manning, 25 of 35, 279 yards, 71.4% completion percentage, 92.4 QBR, 4 touchdowns. Andre Brown on the receiving side, 18 receptions, only 66 yards. Brandon Jacobs, 5. Correct that.
Carries.
Andre Brown carries, 18 carries, 66 yards. Brandon Jacob, 5 for 9, but a touchdown. Eli Manning, 1 run for 3 yards. On the receiving side, was Victor Cruz like invisible in that game? You know, he was going all over the field, and we don't have an answer for him.
That's the problem. You've seen the last couple weeks and stuff, and
I don't know what's going on with Don Capers.
I was going to say, I've heard the name Don Capers and running him out right now.
And you know what? I'll tell you something. It's always ended up this way towards the latter part of the seasons when they get a lot of film on what he's done early in the season, and the other teams. It's not like they got to hunt down their tape anymore. It gets sent to them the day after. So they're picking up on Dom Capers' tendencies, and he's not progressing with the game, and he's not progressing week in and week out. Sure. It's probably like, this is my defense, and I'm sticking to it every year. You know, but Hakeem Nicks for Victor Cruz, 8 for 110 yards, 30 long. Hakeem Nicks, 4 for 50 yards. Ruben Randall, listen to some of these names here. Ruben Randall, 3 for 37 yards. Brandon Myers, 3 for 32 yards. Andre Brown, 3 for 27. And Jarrell Jernigan, 2 for 21. You know, they're finding a way to get it done. It's 4 in a row now.
And they're right in the hunt. They're right in the hunt in that division. Look out.
They're only 1 game behind the Packers.
Yeah, exactly. They're only 2 games out of the division. So yeah.
Yeah, and it really goes to that this has become number 1, a quarterback-driven league. 2, what goes with that is a passing-driven league.
Sure.
I mean, they have tightened them up so much on the hand checking, all of that stuff with the defensive backs. Eventually, why have running backs?
All right, well, hey, let's take a look at who is hot and who is cold here in week number 11. Starting off, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger for Pittsburgh, fantasy-wise, 29 of 45, 367 yards and 4 scores. Carson Palmer for Arizona put up some decent numbers. He was 30 of 42, the top
surprising
yard,
people.
419 yards. Andre Roberts showed up there.
Arizona is
2
sliding
touchdowns
under the radar.
Exactly. In that division, you know, they got a couple.
6-4.
They talk about San Francisco. They talk about Seattle. Nobody's talking about Arizona. And
They're tied right now. Arizona and San Fran.
That wild card spot. And Matthew Stafford for Detroit, 19 of 46 only, but 362 yards. And
19 of 46.
He had 300 and some yards in the first half there. He did
Right.
nothing in the second half. Top running backs, Bobby Rainey of Tampa Bay goes for 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, also caught a pass for a third
Who'd have
touchdown.
thunk that after they released
Freeman,
that they would throw 41 points up?
Exactly. I mean, and you're talking about Rainey, who's their third string running back, because they've lost 2 of them, since then.
Exactly.
So, also Rashard Jennings had a big run, about an 80-yard touchdown run for Oakland. He went for 150 in that score. Ray Rice finally had a productive day for Baltimore, 131 yards, 1 touchdown. Calvin Johnson, 6 catches, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, all in the first half. Not a catch in the second half whatsoever. Michael Floyd for Arizona has 193 yards in a score. Garrett Graham, top tight end from Wisconsin. Houston Texans has 136 yards and a score there.
That's 2 organizations that you would think that would have been up there this year. Houston and Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly.
And they both have 2 wins.
Yeah, that was my prediction for the Super Bowl. So right there, not looking good. How about guys that were cold
what's
this
the
week?
name of that site?
Yeah, exactly. Geno Smith of the Jets, 8 of 23, 103 yards and 3 interceptions before they gave him the yank. Joe Flacco of Baltimore, 17 of 31, 162 and 2 interceptions. Running backs, Bilal Powell, just 27 yards rushing. Willis McGahee, 13, and D'Angelo Williams of Carolina with just 14 yards receiving. Receivers. Greg Jennings goes out for Minnesota with the Achilles problem. Jerome Simpson steps up with 1 catch for 1 yard. That's not going to help you very much. Emmanuel Sanders, 1 catch for 2
Vikings.
yards. A.J. Green, 2 catches for 7 yards for one of the top receivers in all of football. And then one of the top receivers, rookie receivers, DeAndre Hopkins of Houston, just 1 catch for 7
But
yards.
Cincinnati had an answer for it, though. You know, they had someone else.
Sure, exactly. Because they did put up the points later,
Right.
and they got it done defensively. 3 defensive and special
That's
team
one,
scores
yeah.
is what happened there. So, hey, now it's time for our Jim Kreshak Jewelers Gem of the Week. Jim Kreshak Jewelers is your diamond jewelry and jewelry repair experts since 1962, 3808 Rib Mountain Drive in Wausau. Stop on down. It's holiday season. And
It's actually 0. O is in the alphabet. 0 is a number.
okay.
3808.
Got it.
Learn something every day.
3,808. How about that for a number?
There.
All right. Anyway,
I'm happy.
Who do you have this week as your Gem of the Week?
My gem of the week, I mentioned him earlier, Cam Newton, 19 of 28, 209 yards, but those 3 touchdowns. Huge presence on the field. I mean, he's really turned into the field general on that team.
It was a big performance on prime time.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go with a real no-namer, even though I did name him just a little bit ago, Bobby Rainey of Tampa Bay. He was a 3rd stringer filling in for the Bucs. They had 2 main running backs go down. They have a quarterback situation where Mike Glennon stepped in as a rookie. The 3rd-year player out of Western Kentucky goes for 163 yards, 30 carries, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 on the air. Big performance there. So
Reminds me a little bit of little Darren Sproles.
there you go, bouncing around,
Yeah,
getting it done a lot of different
when
ways.
you get down there, it's hard to see. I mean, walk into a crowded place sometime, and it's hard to see the short people.
That's why you have that chair.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, hey, you want to make sure you
What's
check
wrong
out
with my
Polito.
chair?
Nothing wrong with your chair. You're just growing. All right.
I'm going to buy you one.
Check out Facebook.com/Polito's Pizza and predict your Packers score. Win yourself.
Going up against the Queens this
There you
week.
go. So should be easy, huh?
Nothing's easy right now. But Tolzien, there's going to be a win this week.
All right. Facebook.com/Polito's Pizza. You go there to predict your Packers score, and you could win yourself a big slice of pizza from Polito's along with a soda. So make sure you check that out. We're going to take a short break. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the big slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
we'll be right back. On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
I'm the king.
I am the king.
I'm the king.
I am the king.
No, I'm the king. Hi, I'm Tom Hatfield. Join myself and Joe Nienow every Sunday for the Fantasy King Sports Hour.
Every week, we'll take a look at the NFL and help you with your fantasy football action.
We'll have our own fantasy contest, trivia questions, and a whole lot of fun.
Don't forget our weekly high school football fantasy kings.
Plus, you'll never know who might run by.
Are you going to be this week's fantasy king?
Why go anywhere else when Rookie Sports Pub in Stevens Point has 52 different beers on tap? Known as Portage County's best sports bar for live music and karaoke venue, they have 12 HD TVs. All sports, all the time. Keep up with their Facebook page for all upcoming live music and see who's going to be on the Point Brewery comedy stage next. No joke, they have comedy shows. Also, a local favorite for burgers, wings, and pizza, even free taps and rails on your birthday. Find them on Facebook and catch out the action at Rookie Sports Pub on 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point.
It all starts with a touch. The smallest thing that sets her heart in motion. Or even skips a beat. It could only be the rhythm of love. The rhythm of love, the only jewelry powered by her heartbeat.
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you to the
Welcome back to the
Yeah, exactly. The Fantasy King Sports Hour brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
Hoo-ah. All right, here we go.
Oh.
It's time now for the Polito's Pizza Presents Week 12 of the NFL, home of the Big Slice. Stop on down Sundays and order your extra large specialty pizza. Get a free order of cinnamon or garlic knots in 8 great locations.
Newest one, Green Bay.
You've been checking that one out quite a bit.
We just had a visitor from the GB team
All right.
this week.
Very nice.
Actually, yesterday it was Randall Cobb. Came on in, bought himself a Polito's t-shirt.
All right. Maybe you'll have that on the sidelines tomorrow.
That's what I said during warm-ups. Come on out, you should have on.
You can give them the green one. You'll be all right.
Right.
All right.
They can wear whatever they want during warm-ups.
Okay. Well, there you go. 8 great locations. Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids, Rothschild, La Crosse, Oshkosh, De Pere, and like you said, now in Green Bay, and you never know who's going to stop in there.
Never know.
And plus, on your birthday, make sure you're logged into Polito'sPizza.com and become part of their birthday club. Get a free slice on your birthday. Check that out. And www.facebook.com/Polito's Pizza. So, like you said before, any given Sunday now, it's getting tough here. Week number 12. Are you ready?
Wow, it's just upside. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, well, we're going to start off a couple easy ones. They're probably easy ones. Tampa Bay at Detroit. Tampa Bay won 2 in a row. They're 2-8. Detroit 6-4 at home.
God, I want to call this. I am going to go with Tampa.
Wow.
They're real, and Detroit should have won that game against Pittsburgh.
All right, well, let's go. How about Jacksonville at 1-9 against 2-10 Houston?
I never
ugly
thought
games
in
there.
a million years that this would be a hard pick. But Houston's got to get off the schneid. But they lost 6 in a row now.
Yes.
They got to get off the schneid. And there's nothing like the good old Jacksonville Jaguars to do it for you.
All right, next one up, of course, Minnesota at 2-8 going up against 5-5 Green Bay. It's in Green Bay. It's at Lambeau. Is that going to make the difference?
It's a border rivalry. Records mean nothing. But, Minnesota's got 3 backup quarterbacks on their roster, so
Right now, Green Bay wishes
the home team.
Right now, Green Bay wishes they had 3 backup quarterbacks on their roster. I think they only have like 1, 2, and Kuhn.
They have Flynn.
Oh, they have Kuhn.
And they have, from Tampa. Or no, not Tampa.
You can have Freeman, though, if you'd like.
No, not Freeman.
Oh, okay.
Flynn.
That's it.
Who's the guy that got the concussion that used to play for Seattle?
Oh, Seneca Wallace?
Seneca
Wallace.
Wallace.
He's
got a
still
concussion,
out.
right?
He's still out.
All right. But anyway.
All right.
Tolzien's a little bit better than your starter.
Still going with
Christian
Green Bay.
Ponder. Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay.
All right. How about San Diego at 4-6 going up against Kansas City 9-1? The Chiefs take their first loss last week.
And that's at home in San Diego.
No, in Kansas City.
All right.
The bottom team's always at home for you to help you out on that.
You've said that a couple different ways to me already. I know it's always the bottom team. I'm going to take Kansas City.
All right.
How about San Diego? Talk about turd in the bed.
All right, here you got Carolina. They're coming off the big Monday night win. You're talking about how they're rolling. Now they got to go to Miami. Not a bad team right now at 5-5. What do you think?
Is that right? Is Carolina 7-3?
7-3 now.
Wow. I did not know that. I'm going to go with Miami. They seem to have settled things down there.
Okay. How about a pair of 4-6 teams out of the AFC North? I must win if they think either of these teams are going to be around. Pittsburgh or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Okay. How about the Bears? 6-4 going to 4-6 St. Louis.
St. Louis. Chicago got really lucky with that win. And condolences and God bless to everybody down in Southern Illinois or Northeast Illinois and
just
Western
all over
Indiana.
the Midwest. It was
brutal. Untimely.
Incredible, yes. This
but I'm going to go with St. Louis.
All right. How about the New York Jets at 5-5, going to Baltimore at 4-6?
Baltimore's they're eking back in. Their Jets just laid an egg. Baltimore.
Okay. Pair of 4-6 teams. Tennessee against Oakland in Oakland. Pryor not 100%.
Oakland.
He
wasn't 100% this last week either.
He didn't play. Matt McGloin was the answer there, I guess. So the rookie out of Penn State. All right. How about Indianapolis 7-3 going against your dark horse, your 6-4 Arizona Cardinals.
And they're at Arizona.
In Arizona.
Indianapolis eked out one on Thursday.
Extra time to prepare.
Arizona. It's going to close to. I'm going to go with Indianapolis.
Okay. How about the very important NFC North or East battle between Dallas and the Giants? 5-5 Dallas, 4-6 Giants. As you touched on, Giants have won 4 in a row.
And Giants are going to win 5 in a row because they're in the cold weather. Tony Romo has tiny hands, and Dallas. This is a must-win for Dallas. It's absolutely a must-win for them. Yeah,
you know you have to win the division.
Giants.
You're not going to be a wild card out of that division for
Giants.
sure. Sunday night, another big one. Denver 9-1 going to New England 7-3. It's the Brady Manning Bowl, whatever, about 8, 10, 12. I don't know how many meetings they've had.
New England doesn't have a prayer. This could be the beginnings. Well, the dynasty kind of ended a few years ago, but
the one thing you might want to watch out, though, Joe, just so you know, Wes Welker, Julius Thomas, both banged up right now, so you're going to make sure you check the status on those two.
Yeah, but banged up is one thing.
Well, they're listed as questionable.
If they're hurt, if they're injured, it's one thing. I mean, an injury. If they're hurting, they're playing.
All right.
Okay.
And then we'll finish up with San Francisco at Washington. San Fran at 6-4. Washington must win again at 3-7. A terrible RG3 play. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did. But I also have seen these are 2 quarterbacks that everybody anointed. And they're 2 that are struggling. But I think Kaepernick is a less of a quarterback than RG3 is. And it's showing. RG3, he may have had a bad performance this last week, but Kaepernick has had like several. He's not turning out to be what everyone expected him to be. I'm going to go with Washington.
All right. Well, there you go. That is week number 12. Polito's Pizza presents and Joe's picks as always.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do too bad last week.
You've been picking the upsets here for one of those crazy weeks that we've had the last couple of weeks. So there you go.
They're not really. I don't think they're upsets as much because it's so wide open. The only 2 teams that are running away from the other 30 teams are KC and Denver.
I'll tell you right now, I want to give you a little hats off to you because if you take a look, you go back and watch Joe's picks, and you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/thefantasyking. You watch Joe's picks. I guarantee you're over 500.
Oh, I know.
Every single one of those guys on Fox, they're saying, Jimmy Johnson, hey, I'm in first place. He was 19-21 for the year.
I know.
It's like, come on. Anyway, we're going to take a short break and get back to edit. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and...
Thank you, Tom. Bojo Sports Bar and Grill.
I say one nice thing this year. We'll be right back.
He is counted to infinity twice. He once set a land speed record on a surfboard. Bruce Springsteen calls him the boss. He is the most fascinating man alive.
I don't always buy diamonds, But when I do, I prefer
Jim Creshaw Jewelers, located at 3808 Rib Mountain Drive, Wausau.
stay sparkly, my friends.
On game day, don't get flagged for a small slice violation. Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Here's the competition. Here's a Polito's Big Slice. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice. On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Come on down to Post Road Pub. Your NFL, Major League Baseball, and NASCAR headquarters, plus a whole lot more. Darts, pool, shuffleboard, foosball, and a whole lot of fun. Follow Post Road Pub on Facebook. Post Road Pub, 1211 Post Road in Plover, 715-344-9800. Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
We are down here at Post Road Pub in Plover, Wisconsin, and
yes,
having a good time. And
I love this little.
Haven't heard Mary. Oh, there she is. Okay,
she's waving.
There we go.
Oh, we thought she lost her voice.
We couldn't be
nope.
like that. I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Mary, I'll tell you what he said. Whoops.
Yeah, there we go. Having too much fun down here at Post Road anyway.
It's Diet Coke, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Anyway, Joe, it's time now for our high school fantasy football kings. It is our final fantasy king, as we have our high school fantasy kings. Oh, my God, both
I'm
pens?
ready.
All right, you ready to go?
Yes.
Who do you have for your high school fantasy football?
My final high school fantasy king of the year is Shiocton's running back, Justin Van Esten. Ran for an incredible 317 yards on 29 carries, 4 touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion. As the Chiefs, we have some controversy here with nicknames, The Chiefs destroyed the midgets. Yes.
But there was 2 different groups I think were protesting that game. I don't know.
The midgets. Yes. What were you protesting for?
I don't know.
Anyway.
They're doing it in Washington.
Anyway, they beat them 50-0 on their way to Madison. Shiocton will take on Darlington in the Division 6 championship game.
Good luck to Shiocton there.
Midgets.
And
I think if we're going to make these names not hands off or,
it's just going to be
let's just take them out of the dictionary. Can't use them. You can't use them.
Selfie is now in the dictionary.
I know. They just put that in there.
All right.
Selfie. Yes.
Which has nothing to do with this, but anyway.
Tom's doing a lot of selfies.
Oh, man. All right. Even though Amherst's season did come to an end here, my high school fantasy king. There you go. In a tight 28-21 loss to Stanley Boyd in the semifinals. I'm still going to go with the Falcon running back, Connor Zableski of Amherst, who ran for 158 yards and 3 touchdowns in that loss. Amherst, great year last year, win the state championship. Another real deep run for the Falcons there. So congratulations to
absolutely.
Amherst and everybody else. Had a great season.
I'm telling you, people don't realize the length of those seasons and the commitment it takes. And you learn a lot more than just a game and how to play football.
Exactly.
There's a lot of life lessons that are taught in any sport you play.
All right, well.
Except for, race car driving, because what's his name busted Jimmy Johnson's chops and said he's not actually an athlete.
Just going around in the circle?
Yeah.
Turn left. You have to remember that.
You were hanging onto that steering wheel for 3.5 hours, 4 hours, going 190 miles an hour.
Hey, it only takes one time to forget to turn left. It's right in that wall.
See, that was almost funny.
Almost?
God, are we glad I'm on this show?
Oh, yeah, we are. Speaking of that, what's going on here at
Guy on the right.
Yeah. What's going on at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill? Let everybody know.
Every week, Bojo's, starting on Sundays for Packer games, we have free bratwurst, free green and yellow Jell-O shots for every Packer touchdown. I don't believe field goals are worthy. They are an achievement, but a lesser achievement. Also, during the game, we give a bunch of free stuff away. $2 pints of domestics, That's for Sundays, and then we'll also, following the game or during the game, we also have specials for the Sunday night game, free pool and free darts. Monday nights is $1.50 bottles.
You got wings too, right?
Yeah, Monday nights for Monday Night Football. Free or 25-cent wings during the game. We use our own special sauce. 25-cent wings for that. And also we have $1.50 bottle specials. That goes from 9 to 1. And the happy hour, obviously, is Monday through Friday from 4 to 7. Half-price drinks on rails and domestic bottles and
Tuesdays, you double it up.
Yeah, that's double trouble happy hour. We have regular happy hour 47, and then again from 9 to 1, which is, again, half-price drinks, as I had just repeated.
There you go.
And then on Wednesdays, we have all day, which has been dedicated here for the next year, will be Joni's special all day long, $1.50 pints or bottles of Bud Light, Joni's favorite drink. So we've decided to do that in addition to the other specials that we have going on. And Wednesday nights is $5 pitchers. Thursdays is 2-for-1 or half price Captain and Jack Daniels drinks. Come on down 9 to 1, and also the happy hours from 4 to 7. Fridays is our fish fry. From 4 to 9, we have $1 old fashions. Fish fries are now $7.95. You can get the salad bar. That's an additional $3.95, or you can get it all for $9.95. All you can eat.
Beautiful.
So we've given you a few more options there instead of just locking people into one. And then Saturdays we have bands coming up periodically throughout the year. This one we got coming up now is on Saturday, the 30th, which is...
I don't know, is it Jack Squad again?
No, but it's evading my mind. These guys used to be called Blank Fix back in the years, if anybody can remember them. They are great. They play all the top 80s, 90s music and the current stuff. It's awesome.
Well, if you can remember it here, let's go over the trivia question. If you think about it, you just let me know, all right? Time now for our Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill trivia question. And let's take a look at last week's question. We're going to head it over to our buddy there who was with us last week, former Badger and Packer, Bill Ferrario. Bill, what'd you have for this week's trivia question?
And you know what?
What?
I'm glad you got it right, that it's former.
There you
not
go.
X.
So, Bill, what do you have for us?
Hello, I'm Bill Ferrario. Last week I was on the Fantasy King Sports Hour, and the fantasy question was, what was the first NFL team that I played my first regular season game against, not counting special teams, as an offensive lineman? The answer to the question was the Detroit Lions. Congratulations to the winner, Detroit Lions.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. And he did actually tell us that was his birthday. His very first game was on his birthday in September. So.
Yes.
So
Bill is an old guy. Former Packer and Badger. I just wanted to ruffle his feathers.
All right, sure. Yeah, he'll be getting a hold of you for
He's
that.
He's bigger than me.
Anyway, Joe, who actually had that answer? Did you get a correct answer?
Yeah, we got a correct answer out of the many that got it right. About 6 or 7 of them got right.
Just kind of guessing type of thing.
Yeah, you know, and this was Kevin Newhouse out of Owen, Wisconsin. Kevin, stop on down to Bojo's for those 2 free fish fries. You can redeem them at that time or come back at a later date.
All right, and you could, too, be a winner.
You could, too.
Thank you.
Be a winner.
How do you do it?
You go to Bojo's Facebook.
Yeah, there you go.
Facebook /Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Reply with the answer
to this question.
To this coming question. And we go through and we tumble them and we pick out a winner. And you'll be announced next week.
This is going to be
this one will be on.
We'll have it on
the stream on Facebook.
I'll have it on Facebook. Yes. So, kind of a tough question here, I think. Kind of a tricky one. I want to know, who is the last Green Bay Packer to wear number 5 in a regular season game? The last Green Bay Packer to wear number 5 in a regular season game. Once again, send your answer to Facebook.com/Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
And there's a bonus if you can tell us who wore it last.
What? Anyway, how about this week's video of the week? And I brought it back, the collision, because it is a very nice collision here. We had the Eagles.
Did he get a fine out of it?
I did not see a fine yet. Okay. So the Eagles go up against the Redskins. Washington getting close to scoring, even though the Eagles were up big. Then Connor Barwin comes in and levels RG3. knocks the ball loose, knocks his helmet loose, and RG3 lays on the ground there with the dreadlocks hanging there, and Philadelphia running with the ball. So big
need a mop. Just pick up RG3 by the feet.
Oh, that's not nice.
Well, it's true. You're going to wear hair like that, expect it.
So there you go, your NFL video and collision of the week.
That's awesome.
Hey, we're going to take a short break. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
We'll be right back.
On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
What began in a 9th grade math class as a campaign to run for President of the United States turned into a successful video production company where we focus on making videos for the fun of it. We are Will 36 Studios, and what we do is simple. We make videos for fun, entertainment, and for you. With high-definition cameras, the most advanced processors, and powerful editing software, we have the ability to make your project absolutely stunning. Imagine the possibilities. Well, that's exactly what we'll do. That's our story. Do you have a story to tell? Tell it with us. Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Polito's Pizza has been family owned and operated since 2007. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids, Rothschild, Oshkosh, La Crosse, Green Bay, and De Pere. Whether it's a pregame meal or a halftime snack, make it Polito's. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice.
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
All right, Joe, it's time now for your special segment.
My
your
special segment.
Buys and injuries.
Buys and injuries. This week, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and Seattle all get their union negotiated 1 week off.
And fantasy people that have some clutch players there, not a good time for that.
There's some good players in there. So, rolling right into the injuries, starting with the quarterbacks. Week 112,
Close.
minus 100. Houston quarterback Case Keenum is still expected to start. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers, collarbone still out. Scott Tolzien to start. However, I heard a rumor he's expected to start on Thanksgiving Day. Only we can hope. Chicago's Jay Cutler ankle, he is still out. Josh McCown still has the job and doing fine for them. New York's Geno Smith ankle is probable. Oakland's Terrell Pryor, he has a knee issue. He is questionable. Running backs, Detroit's Joaquin Bell ankle is questionable. Oakland's Darren McFadden hamstring, he is questionable. New England's Brandon Bolden, undisclosed again, is questionable. Wide receivers, quite a few here. Detroit's Nate Burleson arm is questionable. Minnesota's Greg Jennings Achilles. I don't know if it was a complete tear.
I don't think he wants to go to Lambeau.
Yeah, that's probably right.
or he wants to stay there. One or the other.
Achilles heel. San Diego's Keenan Allen knee. He is questionable. Baltimore's Brandon Stokely lower body still is questionable. Oakland Demarius Moore shoulder. He is questionable. Dallas's Miles Austin hamstring is questionable, and Denver's Wes Welker with a concussion is questionable. Tight ends, St. Louis, Lance Kendricks finger, he is questionable. Denver's Julius Thomas knee, he is also questionable. New England's Michael Humananui.
Yes, very nicely done.
Knee is questionable.
If you'd have blown the knee part, I would have been, oh, no.
Washington's Jordan Reed has a concussion. He is questionable. Moving along to the defenses, Jacksonville's linebacker Paul Peluzny, concussion is questionable. Green Bay defensive tackle groin, he is questionable.
His name is Groin?
Groin.
Defensive tackle
Groin.
Groin.
Oh, it did it. I forgot Johnny Jolly. At least it wasn't liquid codeine. So Green Bay's defensive tackle, Johnny Jolly, groin is questionable. He's huge in that line. I mean, he's like similar to when we got rid of Jenkins. Pittsburgh's linebacker Lamar Woodley, calf, he is questionable. St. Louis linebacker Lauren Nitis, head is questionable.
That would be James Laurinaitis, by the way. You really just slow down. You got time.
Hey, can I change it up a little bit?
Sure, why not?
Okay, Mom. Baltimore's defensive tackle Halati Ngata, knee is questionable. Dallas's defensive back Morris Claiborne, hamstring, no relation to Liz Claiborne, is questionable. Denver's defensive back Champ Bailey, age, he is questionable.
Related to Beetle Bailey?
Yeah,
or?
Beetle Bailey. O-line, Kansas City, big loss up there. Offensive tackle Eric Fisher, shoulder, he is questionable. And that wraps it up.
The first overall pick, and he's been looking pretty solid for him. So,
well, he's their left tackle too.
No, he's actually they got him on the right side right now.
Well, they must have flopped him over there.
Yeah, he started over. And
yep. Anyway,
but then you don't really know your left and your right anyway. So it's
I know my right, and you're on my right.
All right, there you go. Well, how about some likes and dislikes here for this week? We're going to start off at quarterback here.
Like them, dislike.
There you go. Thank you. No, actually, let's go with Eli Manning is a like here. The Giants going up against Dallas. Giants getting hot. Dallas 32nd in the league versus the pass now, giving up a lot of points.
A lot of momentum on the New York Giants side, and I'll agree with you on that.
All right. And then also, you like Tampa Bay, and I like Mike Glennon. He's like a nice, strong arm there going up against Detroit. Detroit 30th versus the pass.
And they're not well on the road.
And this one you might not like because you talked about it already. I'm going with Colin Kaepernick going up against Washington. The Skins are 26th versus the pass and 30th in points allowed here.
On the road.
I think he gets some points.
On the road.
All right. How about dislikes? Big Ben going up against Cleveland. The Browns are 4th in the league versus the pass. And Phillip Rivers going up against Kansas City, where the Chiefs are 2nd in points allowed.
I'll agree with those dislikes.
All right. Running back this week, I'm going to go with Ben Tate of Houston going up against the Jaguars, who are 32nd versus the run and points allowed.
It's kind of hard to find a like in that game.
All right. How about
I like it when it's over.
Frank Gore, San Francisco going up against Washington. The Skins, like I said before, 30th versus the in points allowed. And then Zach Stacy of St. Louis going against that Bear defense who has given up a lot of rushing yards, 31st. And actually, Ray Rice finally had a big game. It was against that Bear team. So
I agree.
Dislikes. I'm going to go with Ray Rice as a dislike this week because now instead of going against the Bears, he's going against the Jets, who are allowing just 73 yards per game on the ground. And Trent Richardson going against the Cardinals, who are 2nd versus the run.
Yeah, I agree with those.
Wide receivers, tight ends. Wide receivers are like Victor Cruz of the Giants going against Dallas with the combo of Eli. Vincent Jackson of Tampa Bay going against Detroit. He's had 30 catches, 421 yards, and 3 touchdowns over his last 5 games since Glennon stepped in there.
I couldn't agree more, Tom.
All right, well, thank you. And then how about Andre Johnson for Houston going up against that Jaguar defense?
Couldn't agree more.
And dislikes, Mike Wallace, Miami going against Carolina. Panthers #1 in points allowed and 5th in pass defense. And then Antonio Gates of San Diego going against the Chiefs defense.
Antonio.
And you agree?
Antonio, I agree.
Wow, this is I've complimented you. You've agreed with me. This is something's going wrong.
But don't confuse that with a compliment.
All right. Well, hey, let's talk about the Saloons
and Spoons.
There you go. November
Great
edition.
reading.
With the holiday season around here, I'm sure there's some great specials
Christmas
going on
season.
there. Holiday speed. Well, we got Thanksgiving. We got Thanksgiving still going on here.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some parties, some bands going on. You want to check that out. Great jokes, I'm sure, in there. Some pictures. You want to get out there and probably become a picture in Saloons and Spoons.
It just reminded me of something on Wednesday at Bojo's before Thanksgiving. A little bit of an informal Wassa reunion, Wassa East, Wassa West, TC Everest. Everybody getting together like they usually do Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Come on down and do that. So
we're going to have some great fun.
Pick out your pick up your Saloons and Spoons edition at Bojo's or any other local establishments here in central Wisconsin, both restaurants and taverns.
I thought you were going to say restrooms.
Restroom. That's where you take them and you do your reading.
No,
all right.
Sick.
Anyway, let's take a short break here. We're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
We'll be right back.
Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Polito's Pizza has been family owned and operated since 2007. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids, Rothschild, Oshkosh, La Crosse, Green Bay, and De Pere. Whether it's a pregame meal or a halftime snack, make it Polito's. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice.
It all starts with a touch. The smallest thing that sets her heart in motion. Or even skips a beat. It could only be the rhythm of love. The rhythm of love, the only jewelry powered by her heartbeat.
Come on down to Post Road Pub. Your NFL, Major League Baseball, and NASCAR headquarters, plus a whole lot more. Darts, pool, shuffleboard, foosball, and a whole lot of fun. Follow Post Road Pub on Facebook. Post Road Pub, 1211 Post Road in Plover, 715-344-9800. On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
Straight out.
Straight out.
There you go. Well,
hey, a little reminder, opening up a new place up north here shortly.
Exactly.
The Rusty Head.
You've been running all over the
Sports
place.
Saloon and Grill.
Give us the address so people can...
Just outside of Tomahawk, 4793 Wilderness Lane. Nice place.
You got
big place.
You got the Bojo's over in Green Bay. You got the new...
Hey, this is going to compete with... Visually, we got 12 60-inch TVs and 4 70s, all Sharp Aquos. And we also have a 10-foot Grizzly, a full mount of a Wolf.
Oh, it's mounted, right? It's not just not running around and stuff.
Not mounted the way you're thinking. It's a full mount. And it's a Fox full mount and a Doll Sheep mount and a bunch of other heads mounted of Caribou and Rams and...
Rams, like Kurt Warner.
And my bust.
Anyway, hey, time now for our experts picks and time to run through. Who are you going to start out with at quarterback?
Hey, you know what? I think he got thrown into the fire, but he's going to come out fireproof. Going with Tolzien.
Hey, if he's going to go do it against somebody, you might as well
do it against your Vikings. Yeah, I like that line of thinking.
I just know how it's been happening this year. So I'm going to go with Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco on Monday night there as my quarterback there. My first running back, I'm going to go with Ben Tate going up against Jacksonville for Houston.
I'm going Bush for my first one, Reggie Bush. And I'm going Darren Sproles for my second.
All right, and I'm going to go with Zach Stacy, the young back out of St. Louis, going up against the Bears. How about your first wide receiver?
My first wide receiver, I'm going Jarrett Boykin. He's kind of getting his groove, finding his way into the likingness of the quarterbacks for the Green Bay Packers.
Looking for the combination there?
Yeah, and then I'm going to go with, this guy who's unknown and has average numbers, but I think he's going to sprout here. Megatron.
Yeah. He even if he plays a half, he puts up better numbers than most people. So I'm going to go with Vincent Jackson of Tampa Bay going up against Megatron. Look for him to have a performance. And then Andre Johnson of Houston going up against Jacksonville. Tight end, I'm going to go with Vernon Davis going with the Kaepernick connection here on Monday night.
Well, I just so happen to agree with you on my tight ends.
How about a kicker?
I'm going with Mason Crosby. Hey, nailed that 57-yarder. That That confidence from that one kick might carry him through 1 week.
He hasn't had a bad season overall this year, really.
Missed 2 in one game.
Compared to last year, let's just put it that way.
That,
so,
yeah.
How about that? This last week, they had 3 kickers that hadn't missed all year. All 3 of them missed.
Yes.
So,
and then my defense,
Prater.
Yeah, Prater. And my defense, I'm going with the Giants.
All right, and I got Robbie Gold's my kicker going indoors against St. Louis, and my defense I'm going to go with Houston going up against Jacksonville. So
good deal.
All right, once again, let's get to our Bojo Sports Bar trivia question. Who is the last Green Bay Packer to wear number 5 in a regular season game for the Packers? So the last person,
that's a good
last
question.
Green Bay Packer to wear number 5. And all you have to do is send your answer into Bojo Sports Bar and Grill's Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Bojo Sports Bar and Grill. Private message them, and you could win two free fish fries.
A gift certificate.
A gift certificate for those.
Or two fish fries. Two fish fries.
And also, yeah, exactly.
Blah, 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 blah.
Come on down. Also, make sure you predict the Packer game score today, as the Politos Facebook page gives away a free big slice and a soda to anybody who gets the correct score.
Hey, let's not forget about that monster pizza. With a new location in Green Bay, you got some big fellas over there that might want to try and tackle that for $500. Half hour, 2 guys. 11-pound pizza.
I don't know if they have that going on anymore.
Oh, they don't?
I don't know if they have the challenge going on anymore.
Oh.
You can still order the big pizza if you want it, but I don't think they have the contest anymore. They had a couple winners.
Well, they had all those freaking...
They had some winners. They had some pros come in.
Professional eaters coming in, every one of them, and horking them down and bouncing locations.
So taking all the money. So.
Yeah.
Actually, Kevin from from Post Road here tried that one time.
Yeah.
Unsuccessfully.
Right.
But he did do it.
That's a lot of pizza.
It is a lot of pizza.
Just have to train a couple.
I think Kevin
train
had
a
his
couple tapeworms.
Kevin, are you over there, Kevin? Did you get your half done of your monster pizza? Did you have half yours done? It was just that Kenny held you back. That's exactly the case. So there you go. All right. Hey, I just want to let everybody know that this is going to be our final show here this season on TNV. So I want to thank you, Joe, and thank Brian and all the people watching this live.
Everybody did a great job.
You can still tune into our Facebook page. We're going to run through our injuries each and every week, help you through your fantasy stuff. We're going to have the answer to the trivia question next week and our winner. So you can tune in there. Make sure you like the page. And I'll throw a few extra things in there, maybe our likes and dislikes still.
Hey, and some great, we got to thank our sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Next year, we'll be around again.
Exactly. Our sponsors, let's mention, Politos Pizza, Bojo's.
Jim Krishock Jewelers, Bojo's, Post Road Pub here, Rookies. So, we missing anybody?
Well, we also had the Saloons and Spoons. So there we go. And Will 36 getting the production.
Yes,
each and
Will 36.
I got the whole story behind that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so we'll find that out.
We'll have to figure that. That would be a good trivia question.
Maybe next year. There you go. That's going to do it here for week number 12. Hope your fantasy season continues on, and with the playoffs, that's going to do it.
It's my last opportunity to be annoying for the year, isn't it?
Well, at least on this show. I'm sure you're going to be doing it anywhere else. So you've been watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Politos Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
Enjoy the games, everybody.